Most people live on the defense in life. We try to protect what we have, and we're scared to move ahead and create something else. And that state of being on the defense, like in a game where you're ahead 2 goals, you got 2 goals more than the opponents or the opposing team, and then you just, everybody cram around the goals, so just to wait it out, see if we, run out the clock, so the game stops and you've won. But that's no way to win, right? It's like arriving safely at death. You try to not have anything happen so you don't, rock the boat, so you can arrive safely. At what, But so what is really going on? Well, what's going on is that we follow the recipe that everybody else is following. We get the education, get the job, nothing wrong with that, and then we get a family, and then we wonder why we are dissatisfied, unfulfilled, and stressed, right, and locked. Seems like we can't do anything else because I have to go to work, I have to pay the rent, have to pay the mortgage, have to have the kids to school, and I have to, so we're all out of choices now. And we're basically protecting what we have, and we're bored out of our minds because it's just that routine, right? And we just ooze into that, without questioning whether or not billions of people could be wrong about how to live their lives. But just think about it. Whoever whoever came up with that model? Well, instinct. We need to reproduce. We need to take care of our offspring, right? But you're not living in the jungle anymore. You can make choices. But if you're in that place where you really feel, stagnated and you're just protecting the status quo, then this video is for you. Because what happens is that it's in a game, like I always say, right? We're in a game here and we're on the defense. We're ahead 2 goals. We got 2 more goals than the opposing team. And instead of going for 3 or 4 goals, with the risk of the opposing team scoring in our goal, we go back to our goal and defend it. We don't want to go there because now we want to protect what we have because we're afraid of losing it. But going towards the other, the opposing team's goals and actually wanting to score even more means exposing ourselves. But that's the way to win, right? And if you're ahead like that, then you can play with more certainty and more. You get playful when you do the cool thing with the ball, and you go for those goals that you wouldn't have went for if you were behind, because you get self-confident. The more you are ahead, the more freedom you have to do all the fun things on the playing field, right? But once you do that, you expose yourself, and that's what we don't want. So the key to breaking out is not courage, because what is courage? We're going to talk about that in another video, right? The key to breaking out is exposing yourself to that uncertainty, to that pain of doing something else that does not feel necessarily pleasant, because you're taking a little bit of a risk. You're moving towards that, starting that business or doing whatever it is that you want to do. You're taking out time for yourself. You're getting up earlier to build some skills in whatever area, or do some things that is designed to move you forward. And people may not like that, or it might, expose you in certain ways. Perhaps you're spending money on something that isn't core. That whole thing is because you have to move forward, and that exposes you to you could actually lose now, right? And we don't want to lose. But if you're not willing to lose, how can you play the game? You can't go onto the playing field and then say, I don't want to lose. If this involves losing, I don't want to play. And that's what we do. In order to avoid risk and failure or pain and hurt in any way, we don't play. We don't go, we always play. It's always a game. It might be a game of protection, of just, keeping the status quo alive, but it's always a game. It's a dissatisfying game to be on the defense all the time. You have to cram around your own goal all the time. It's boring as heck, right? It's not satisfying. It's not exciting. You don't do that with passion and enthusiasm. You do that with fear. And you don't deserve to live there. So taking those steps, and it doesn't have to be that enormous revolutionize, you don't have to revolutionize your whole life, but you need to take those steps. Because if you don't, what happens is that you start figuring out another way of compensating for the fact that you're bored out of your mind by doing the same stuff over and over again every single day, maintaining what you have, protecting what you have. You get bored, so you can't stay that way. So you start overeating, drinking, doing stuff that creates problems, so you have something manageable to solve. You create drama in your relationships, or whatever else you can come up with. Chances are, whatever you do, it becomes negative. It becomes something you don't, because you don't want to step forward. So you pick a fight with your teammates to make things a little more interesting, right? So if you stop moving forward, if you stop moving towards the things you want, but Claus, I don't want anything, I just want peace. Oh, so you want peace. So that's what you want. So go get it, right? I want to relinquish desire. I don't want to desire anything. I want to get out of the whole thing. Well, then that's what you want. You want to not want anything. You're trapped. You can't get out of it. You're human, right? You're a game player by nature. There's always something you want. So get your game on. So start pushing with whatever, at whatever speed you can manage, right? And chances are that once you start pushing a little bit, when it's manageable, you feel a little uncertain, but it's okay, you can manage, then you want to push even more, and you get even more confident, and you want to push even more. And so how does that look, Claus? What do I need to do? I want to, I feel trapped. But that's another discussion. The principle here is to stop focusing on being on the defensive. And we say, I don't have time to do whatever it is that I want to do. I don't have time, and I don't have the resources, and I don't. All of those things are stories you tell yourself in order for you to make it all right that you're on the defensive all the time. Unless you're living in a third world country and really struggling, there's always somebody that you can look at and say, wow, I've got it made right where I am. And then that might give you some perspective as to making a choice that says, hey, I have no reason to feel stuck. I can do something to move ahead, to move in another direction. I can educate myself, on the area that I want to improve. That's a start. I can get up earlier, right, and do that for half an hour, for 1 hour. I can skip TV watching, right, in the evening, and then get up earlier instead. There is always something we can do, small steps to move ahead. And that gets you excited, because now you're moving somewhere. Now something is happening. Also a little bit anxious or, afraid, but that's okay. And then that's exciting, but that's a positive excitement. Instead of the things we do to manage being so bored all the time, that are not good for us in the long run. So, I hope that was valuable, because that's, 8 minutes spent listening to me? So the question is, how are you going to make the time you just spent listening to me, how are you going to create value from that? And the only way to create value is to take action, some kind of action, to manifest that into your life, to make it, to make a difference. What action could you take that would make this actual valuable in your life? So ask yourself that question, and then just do it. A small thing that you can do right away. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment if you feel like it in any way. And then I'll see you in the next video.